Hi, I'm Raheel, your Client Success Manager at Link High Technology. And this introductory training video is for the Mimecast email security gateway that is being implemented at your organization. An FAQ for the service has been shared with your organization's point of contact and should have been shared with you already. Please reach out to your point of contact or Link High if you do not have the FAQ in hand. The FAQ looks like this. Just going to bring it up. It's about 10 pages long, and the information that I'll be covering in the video today is available in greater detail in the FAQ. So um, I would encourage, if you have the opportunity to review it beforehand, review it or at least have it on hand while watching this video. As I mentioned, the purpose of this video is to give you an understanding of why the service was implemented and what your user experience should be with the service. Um, a good place to start off would be the why. So let's talk about Mimecast. In today's landscape, every organization has to be aware of the cybersecurity threats that are out there. Adherence to strict security policies is not just a matter of IT importance anymore. It's really a business consideration that all employees, regardless of their position in the organization, must be cognizant of. A cybersecurity intrusion has the potential to not just cause grave harm, but completely dismantle an organization. That's how serious the threat is. So this requires vigilance in maintaining standards in the products and services that an organization uses, but also by every user. When we're talking about services, the number one entryway to a cyber incident is email. It's pretty obvious why that is, right? Email is very prevalent. It's how most of our communication gets done. It's, we're looking at our inboxes all day long, so that it is natural that that is where threat actors would target an organization. Most incidents can usually be traced back to an email that was received in the system that somebody maybe clicked a link on or opened an attachment to. So it is very important that we do our best to protect it as much as possible. All email services come with their own spam filtration systems. You probably notice the spam folder on the left-hand side of your inbox. So while it may seem like you get too many emails right now, the reality is that your inboxes are constantly being targeted by threat actors throughout the day. The spam filters that come with your email services, whether you're using Office 365, Google, or any other email service, they do an okay job of removing the more obvious spam messages, but are simply not up to standard when it comes to the sophisticated and targeted email attacks that business organizations have to deal with today. You may have come across some of these in the past as phishing attempts that your spam filter did not pick up. And given the sensitivity of email and the importance of it, it is very important that we add an additional layer of protection, with Mimecast being an industry leader that Link High has chosen to go into business with. Link High chose Mimecast after evaluating a number of services. The largest appeal of Mimecast for us is that it scans every link and every attachment contained in emails to find any inconsistencies so our clients can approach them with a greater sense of ease. Aside from that, Mimecast also comes with a highly customizable settings that allows the user the ability to manage their own security to greater levels than with a default spam filter. Link High has worked with your point of contact to establish the default settings for your organization. So please feel free to reach out to your point of contact or Link High if you have any questions about what those settings are. By the time that you view this video, the service should either be implemented or be in the process of being implemented in the next couple of days. So the next part of this video covers what you should expect. So once the service is implemented, it immediately starts to work on the back end, and it starts quarantining emails that are suspicious, that could be spam, that could be phishing attempts, just to try to protect the user to the best of its ability. The service is set to inform the user of the emails that are being quarantined 3 times a day, at 7 a.m., at 12 p.m., at 5 p.m. So around those times, you will see an email that looks like this. So this is an email that you should receive around those times. This is actually my email that I received from this morning at around 7 a.m. And the important thing to look at over here is, it tells you who the email is from. So this is an email address that I don't recognize, but I do recognize the domain because it is a vendor that we use. I can see what the subject is. It's a pretty generic subject, which is probably why one of the reasons why it was flagged as spam. And then it right over here, it shows you the reason why this email was quarantined, because it falls out of line with our spam policy. The reason for it could be, it could be many things, most likely because it's from essentially an anonymous email address. The subject line isn't very specific. It feels like a marketing email. It most likely isn't addressed just to me, but as part of a greater, marketing email chain. So Mimecast decided that, this isn't really something that I need to see right away, but it does want to give me the option of doing something with the email in case it is something that I am looking for. So your 3 action items or actionable items that you can do with this email is you can either hit release, which if you can tell, I've already hit release on this email. But what release does is that it just allows this one email to come through to my inbox. It does not set any, it does not make any changings in my settings. So it does not mean that, an email like this from this user is going to be allowed in the future. An email like this in the future will still continue to be quarantined by Mimecast. But I can release this message. So I will go ahead and click release again. Block essentially just blocks this email. It does not block the domain. It does not block the user, but it blocks this email. And it lets Mimecast know that in the future, emails with this type of subject from this user should most likely be blocked. And then the last one is permit. Permit allows this email and emails like this in the future to come through to my inbox without being quarantined. I don't want that. So for right now, I will go ahead and just click release. Once you click release, the email gets delivered to the inbox between 30 seconds to a minute. So it'll likely be showing up shortly in my inbox, but while it's actually probably there already, but while we're waiting for that, I want to go over some of the other features that were implemented as part of the rollout. So there is an Office 365 plugin that is a part of this project. So I will open up my Office 365 here and share the screen. So in your menu ribbon, you should see this new tab for Mimecast. Mimecast is this is the Outlook plugin for Mimecast, and it is, as I mentioned, part of the project. If you do not see it, please reach out to your point of contact and reach out to Link High to ensure that it gets rolled out to you. The plugin allows the user to designate any email that's in their inbox and also provides shortcuts to the Mimecast application that is also included as part of the rollout. We will be exploring the application shortly, but before that, I want to show you what you can do with the ribbon within Outlook. So this is an email that I was waiting for that got released, and I will double click it and share the view of the email. And I can show you what we can do with it within Mimecast. So here's an email. If I click on the Mimecast tab, it gives me these options, right? So I can report this email as spam, and I can report the email as phishing. The difference between spam and phishing is spam is generic, uh, you know, garbage emails. Um, Phishing is targeted um, garbage emails, essentially. So, a spam email is something that is broad. So usually it's like a marketing email or something like that, where it's not really addressed to one person. And it's basically junk mail. Phishing is targeted. This is something that's been on the rise a lot, where threat actors are targeting different people within an organization based on their roles. So with this email, I can report it as spam or I can report it as phishing. And what reporting does for us is it helps Mimecast kind of gather data, so it can also learn, what to look out for in the future. So, it's not something that's absolutely necessary, but it is helpful to your organization because essentially you're giving us data that we will use to service you in the future. The next thing here is block sender. So what block sender does is that it blocks just this email address. So if I were to click on it over here, I would not receive emails like this in the future. The next thing is block domain. So we want to be very careful. So if I click on block domain, what that means is that all future emails from lucid.co are going to be blocked for me. We want to be very careful in terms of how we go about blocking or allowing domains. We want you to tread very carefully when it comes to listing or blocking public domains such as gmail.com or msm.com or yahoo.com. Since these are email services that are used by a large number of users around the world, you don't want to block them completely. Similarly, you do not want to have an open door policy for them, as those are the ones that are used by hackers and threat actors in their schemes as well, right? So really wouldn't recommend blocking domains or allowing domains completely, one way or the other. If at most what you want to do is you want to be blocking senders. So once that is done, so for this instance, I'm just going to go ahead and block sender. And it gets added to my block senders list. In the future, I will not be receiving an email like this. Let's say I made a mistake. And let's say I actually do need to see that email in the future. The last part of the application of the Mimecast service that you can interact and we encourage you to interact with on a daily basis is a Mimecast desktop application that is also a part of your rollout. You can see an icon for it on the bottom right hand of your screen, but the easiest way to access it again is through the Outlook portal. So I'm just going to go back to my Outlook over here and show you how to get there. So this is my Outlook. Once again, I click on Mimecast, and let's say if I accidentally blocked that sender and I don't want to do that, I can click right here on Manage Senders, and it will pop up the Mimecast application. And you can't see it on screen right now, but let me just share that. So as soon as you click that, you will see. I'll go ahead and share my entire screen actually here. That may be easier. So this is my screen. So if I go on Mimecast and I click on Manage Senders, this is what's going to pop up. This is the Mimecast for Outlook application. Essentially, it's just another email platform for you to use. In certain instances, we've seen this Mimecast application kind of outperform Office 365. So, you know, if you are in the habit of trying out new products and services, we definitely recommend that you take this out for a spin because it is very impressive. So this is the application that's going to open up. And over here, you treat it just like you would treat your Outlook inbox, right? So you have your online inbox. This shows me all of the messages that I've received. This is my online sent items, shows all the messages that I've sent out. But the ones that you're going to be using most often are these on hold, is this tab over here, on hold messages, right? So that email that I went ahead and permitted earlier would have shown up in here before. But you can check what is on hold for you by clicking on personal on hold. Moderated on hold is a category that comes with the service, but it's not one that's implemented. All it does is it allows you to, permit or block emails for somebody else. And this is a service that's really only designed to be set up for managers and supervisors, but by default, we don't allow anybody to have access to that. Personal on hold is what you, the user, need to be aware of. So click on personal on hold. These are all the emails that are on hold for me right now. I can click on any one of them and I can once again decide what to do with it. So if this is a message that I want to be seeing in the future, I want to go ahead, click release. I can release the message. I can release the message and permit address. So in the future, I'll be getting all of the emails from this account, or I can release message and permit domain. Same thing there, right? What we spoke about. Want to be very careful about how we approach public email services like Gmail. Similarly here, you can reject. You can reject this message, just this message. I can reject this message and block the address, so I won't be getting any emails from this person anymore. Or I can reject the message and block domain. Once again, I want to be very careful about how we use our block domain. So, and then if something was added incorrectly, you can come down here. You can go to the manage senders, and this is, my list right now. I went ahead and blocked myself for my Gmail address. But let's say if I wanted to change that, I would just click on it and I would just click on permit, and now I could receive those emails. So that is the Mimecast application. It is a part of the rollout. It is something that you should be, actively working with. If you have the opportunity, by all means, try it out. Let us know if you have any questions. Let us know if we can clarify anything for you. And then finally, the last part that we wanted to mention is that there is a Mimecast application that is made for smartphones. So it's a smartphone app. It can be downloaded from Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, depending on your device. We recommend it as, once again, some of the features on it work better than the Outlook application that we receive. So search is actually better on Mimecast app than it is on Outlook. So, but once again, if you download it, it has all of the same features that are in the desktop application. So I recommend that you download it. If you need any assistance on how to download that, there are details in the FAQ that show you where to go to download it. Some of the other items that are in the FAQ include sending out encrypted emails, which is a part of the service with Mimecast, and how to access the portal through a browser. I'm not going to be going over that in here, but by all means, refer to that and let me know if you have any questions. If you need any further information than what's on the FAQ, please feel free to contact the team over here at LinkHi. And then finally, if I could leave you with one important thing to remember, it's that, LinkHi prides itself in working with your organization and making recommendations for important security services and policies as a trusted IT provider. This is the stuff that we do. But for all the improvements that we make, the most important part of this chain is you, the user. So there are services that we can add to mitigate the threats that are out there, but ultimately we need your help to drive it home. And you can do that by being vigilant. take the extra second or two before you click on something that you aren't sure about. And just, practice good common sense, whatever that means to you. So if for any reason you feel like an error has been made or an incident has occurred, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. The sooner that we know about a potential issue, the better position we are in to react. Thank you for your time. Please refer to the FAQ first for any subject that you may need assistance with. But as always, feel free to reach out to us here at Link High. Thank you.